Hello and welcome to the next part in my stream of Danganronpa. You might notice that the mic quality is better, at least I hope it is. I finally found the instruction manual for the microphone I bought. It was hidden between the protective case that it came in and the box itself. So yeah, I just assumed I hadn't gotten one, but then I managed to find it. So yeah, I hope the quality is better, and I hope I don't drown out the game audio too much. Anywho, quick recap. So, Makoto befriended another student named Sayaka. Sayaka was pretty damn scared about being trapped inside the school, had full-on anxiety attacks about it. Makoto promised that he would protect her and that he would help her find a way out. This seemed to help and comfort Sayaka. Then Monokuma showed up and introduced some motives, showed the students some scary videos about their family and friends disappearing mysteriously and telling them they would only get the answer once they graduate. The videos hit Sayaka pretty bad, but again, Makoto comforted her. Then that night, Sayaka showed up to his room, telling him that someone had tried to sneak to get into her room, that she had heard the door handle rattle. So she and Makoto agreed that they would swap rooms for the night. While in Sayaka's room, Makoto didn't hear anyone try to come into his, but that morning, Sayaka didn't show up for breakfast. So he went into his room and he found her corpse. We then went into the investigation procedure. We collected clues in preparation for the class trial, which is what we're gonna play now. And I can see nobody has shown up yet, so I'm gonna send some messages out and hopefully we get someone here. Okay, I sent some messages out and hopefully we should get some people here a lot sooner than last time. Oh, I can see we already have a viewer. Hello! I hope you can hear that the quality of my mic has gotten a lot better, in case you have seen any of my... Hi, Fish. So I just finished doing my recap and we are prepared to go into the trial now. And so this is the pre-trial setup. First we can open the handbook and we can see the truth bullets, what evidence we have. We have the Monokuma file number 1, which is like the autopsy report, evidence of a struggle, replica sword sheath, switching rooms, toolkit, Makoto's room's cleanliness, Sayaka's wrist, dying message, bathroom door frame, bathroom door knob, dorm nameplates, kitchen knife set, Aoi's account, trash duty, incinerator, bird shirt piece, and shattered crystal bowl. The next thing we can do is set skills. You might remember that we unlocked some skills while we were doing the social links. So this is how you unlock different skills that can help you during the trial. Except for one skill which actually helps you out outside of the trial. It's a skill you get from Celeste, and it basically gives you more money. So attentive focus increases the influence gauge, basically gives you more health. And as you can see, it's limited how many skills we can have due to the SP limit. When you do a social link with someone, you either get a new skill or you get more points in the SP, which allows you to apply more skills. And we have Melodious Voice, increases damage to the opponent when a statement is destroyed. So these are the two skills we have, and with that, we finish preparations and we start.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results. If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate.
And the killer really is one of us, right?
Of course!
Okay then, everyone close your eyes, and whoever did it, raise your hand!
Oh my god, Taka, you precious, precious idiot. Oh, Fish, this is definitely something that Sylvian would try to do. Like, he wouldn't do it as earnestly as Taka, but he would definitely, think to try and do it to trick out the criminal. And hello, Andrew. Good thing you showed up. We just started the class trial, and literally all that's happened is that Monokuma's explained what's gonna happen in the trial.
Don't be a goddamn idiot. Why the hell would they raise their hand?
And in this situation, Mondo is honestly...
Before we move on and start the trial, can I ask a question real quick? What's going on with those pictures?
I'd feel awful if they got left out just because they died. Friendship penetrates even death's barrier.
Friendship penetrates?
Oh
okay, but what about that other empty seat? There were only 15 of us to begin with, so why are there 16 seats?
Oh, mystery.
Oh, no reason. It's just that our little courtroom here can technically fit up to 16 people. Okay, that about does it for the preamble. Get ready to get started. First up is the case summary. Now, let the class trial begin.
It's about to begin. The debate to decide who we think the killer is. Anything I found, anything I noticed, I have to be ready to speak up about everything. Because this isn't just about me. Everyone's lives are on the line. Your first non-stop debate is about to begin. Would you like to hear more? Sure, I could use a refresher. Oh, why? I picked not at all. Oh my god. I just said, oh, I could use a refresher, and then I picked not at all. Oh.
I assert that the one who was murdered
well, I
was
should
Miss
be able to
Sayaka
figure it out.
Yeah, we know that part already. And the murder took place in Makoto's room.
In the bathroom. So it seems most likely that the killer must have taken her by surprise while she was in the bathroom. She didn't even have a chance to resist.
No, it's wrong.
So yeah, this is how the non-stop debate portions work. Basically, people are gonna talk. There's gonna be an orange point, which is a weak point, and you're gonna shoot evidence at it. This is why the evidence is called truth bullets, because you literally shoot it at other people's statements.
With the way things had been damaged, I think we can definitely assume there was a struggle.
A struggle? Between who and who?
Between Sayaka and the killer, of course.
So you're saying Sayaka wasn't caught by surprise in the bathroom? She must have been attacked in the main room first. Then she ran to the bathroom to try and hide. The killer followed her in, and that's where they finished the job.
Yeah, it's definitely very dynamic. like, compared to the Ace Attorney games, which is the game I think this game most often gets compared with.
That much should have been obvious after taking one look at the scene.
You know, due to the trials and all that.
Sorry.
Okay, so what's next?
Next is the subject of the murder weapon.
However, kind of a negative aspect of this is that these are definitely kids who don't know a lot about the law, so they often end up arguing in circles and arguing about not that important stuff.
This is starting to sound like a real trial.
Also, as an aside, Hifumi has a character pose that's kind of like, I think is kind of Ace Attorney inspired, one where he like points at the screen. He also pushes up his glasses, and at first I thought like, oh, maybe it's like a combo of Edgeworth and Phoenix, but then I remembered that Edgeworth didn't get glasses until the Dual Destinies game, so that can't be it. We need to determine what was used to kill Sayaka. Gee, I wonder if it can be the knife that's stuck inside her chest.
So what was used to kill her?
There was some kind of sharp object thrust into her stomach. Without a doubt, that is the murder weapon.
So the killer used some random knife.
It wasn't just a random knife.
No, it's wrong.
And when things are slowing down, it's not the game that does that automatically. It's
not just any knife.
It's me holding the R1 button, which allows me to slow time down as long as my star meter is full. You may have noticed that at the upper right corner of the screen there is hearts, which is your influence, and there is stars, which is what allows you to slow down time. Oh, I mean, yeah, but I don't think it's a reference to Winston Payne. Like, I don't think Hifumi would try to emulate that loser, even if he is a loser himself. He wants to be the cool protagonist. Like, that's who Hifumi thinks he is in this game. He thinks he's the protagonist.
Huh? A kitchen knife?
After the murder, we discovered that one of the knives from the kitchen was missing.
Which means that knife must be the murder weapon.
Okay, but this actually is important because by clarifying that the knife was taken from the kitchen, we can use Aoi's account to prove that Makoto isn't the killer, or at least that he didn't take the knife. Oh yeah, Andrew's right. The pushing up glasses thing is a very common trope for like cool glasses wearing characters in anime. Hifumi actually has several poses where he pushes his glasses up and it does that sheen thing where one eye is like invisible due to the light and the other is visible. I do like that pose though.
Oh, yeah. I guess that makes sense. You could sort of see the weapon sticking out of her stomach. And if you look real close, I could totally see that being a kitchen knife.
I mean, it's not that hard to see, like, it has the typical knife look, I mean kitchen knife look on the handle, like, most kitchen knives have that where they're like, have a black handle with like metallic spots on the side.
Okay, so the murder weapon was a kitchen knife, but where does that get us?
Oh, hello, Simon. Nice of you to join us.
I mean, we all know Makoto killed her, right?
That's right. Makoto's room was the scene of the crime. What more proof do you need?
Hold on a second.
Let's draw our conclusions after we presented our arguments. Otherwise, what's the point of the trial?
Well, we can talk
I'm just gonna say
all we want.
this
It's not gonna
bit.
change
Kyoko
that
is the
conclusion.
curse of this group. Like, Simon, Andrew, you're not gonna know what that means. It's a reference to me and Fish's D&D game. But, like, Kyoko is the only adult in this room, basically.
I don't think that's true at all. I'm sure if we keep at it, something new will reveal itself.
You really believe that?
She's right. There's gotta be a breakthrough somewhere just waiting for us to find it. Because I know damn well I'm not the killer. There's a bit more to learn about non-stop debates, and this time I'm not gonna pick not at all. Oh, you can concentrate. Yeah, this is what I told you about. On top of that, it'll steady your aim, making it easier to target potential weak spots. Concentrating like this consumes the focus gauge, and if this gauge empties, you can't concentrate. I don't actually know if it's like gauge or gouge because, well, English is not my first language, and there are a lot of tricky words like that like seems like it should be pronounced one way, but then it's pronounced another way, and then like in a different context it's pronounced an entirely different way. Gauge, okay. But the focus gauge will recover over time, so let your brain take a rest. No need to rush. I said rest. Let your brain take a rest. No need to rush. Ugh. Thanks, Andrew. Well then, good luck and have fun figuring out who murdered your friend. Aoi's account.
So I guess there's no question that the kitchen knife was the murder weapon. But where does that get us?
Makoto must have taken it from the kitchen, right? He did it in secret.
Nobody was...
Aoi was in the kitchen.
Okay, wait. Hold on. I didn't take the knife from the kitchen.
Next you're gonna say you're not the killer, right? Go ahead and say it all you want.
Oh my god, it's Renata Bliss. I always misheard it as, hi, I'm Anju Belize.
Well, what if I have a witness? What do you think, Hina?
Huh?
Remember what you were telling me earlier?
Hina's not the sharpest tool in the shed, but she is a good bean. Well, I went to go get some tea from the kitchen last night, and all the knives were still there. But when I finished my tea and went back into the kitchen to wash my glass, one of the knives was gone. So you're saying the knife disappeared while you were drinking your tea in the dining hall? Yeah.
Just to be perfectly clear, the knife disappeared while you were in the dining hall, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
And at any point while you were there, did you ever see me come into the dining hall?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, he definitely wasn't there.
The knife disappeared while Hina was in the dining hall. But I wasn't there the entire time. In other words, there's no way I could have taken the knife.
Okay, then what about this? What if the idiot swimmer girl and Makoto are in on it together, and lying to protect each other?
Idiot swimmer girl? Oh, and more importantly, why would I get involved in something like that?
Speaking of which, I'd like to ask the bear, if there is an accomplice, do they also become blackened?
Okay, this is where Monokuma explains one of the rules that I have the most issue with.
So you ask, and so I shall answer. Each murder is allowed to have an accomplice, but only the one who does the killing will get to graduate.
So in other words, two people can work together, but one of them has no chance of profiting from it.
So when Monokuma says the one who does the killing, he means the one who delivers the killing blow. Now, I'm not going to spoil anything, but in the second game, there is a case where that is used in a way that makes completely no sense at all. And it exposes the flaw of this, the one who does the killing blow idea. Because in actuality, it should be the person who, like, plans the murder who is the actual murderer. Because, like, at that point you can basically say that the accomplice, even if they commit the murder, they're just, you know, a tool that the actual murderer uses. But, anyway, like I said, I'm not going to spoil that case, but it's basically like, imagine if you, for instance, poisoned a drink, and then someone drank the poisoned drink. By Monokuma's logic, it's the person who is drinking the bottle who is the murderer because they're the ones who do the killing blow. So by Monokuma's logic, that case would be considered a suicide. So, like, that's my problem with the person who does the killing blow, because, like, at that point you can basically get away with murder through technicalities. So, yeah, it's kind of a bullshit
rule.
rule.
We would work together, right?
And, like, I'm okay with that, like, he's not the kind of person who'd play fair, but on the other hand, it's like, by doing that, you're basically ruling out an entire murder method, because the whole point of like, getting these kids to kill each other is so that one of them gets to escape. But, due to the whole killing blow rule, it's basically like, they would have no reason to use that particular method. And later on in the game, we do actually get introduced to a chemistry lab with a lot of poisons in it. And it's like, why do we have these poisons when poisoning someone doesn't count as killing them? But, like, all of that is only in the second game. Like, while the rule still applies here, there isn't a case where this bullshit rule comes into play. Like, in this case, in this entire game, it is usually the person who does the planning of the actual murder who is considered the murderer. And not like some bullshit, oh, it's the killing blow.
But what if they did work together, and they just didn't know about the rule?
Good grief! Enough already! No, okay? There are no accomplices in this case!
Oops! Did I say that out loud? Anyway, I didn't go to the dining hall, and I didn't take the knife, so I'm not the killer.
Okay, so then, who did take the knife?
Hina seems the obvious candidate. After all, she just said she was in the dining hall.
No way! I swear it wasn't me!
Sure, but can you or anyone else prove that?
See, this is the post I was talking about.
I can.
That's right! Sakura was with me the entire time I was drinking my tea.
I hate to have to ask, but just to be sure, Sakura's...
the best character in this game.
Me.
Right.
But then, couldn't either one of them have grabbed the knife?
Actually, no. Because, well...
Just spit it out already.
I stayed in Hina's room last night.
Just as an aside, I really ship Hina and Sakura together. I think they are the most adorable couple, and I love them.
I got so scared thanks to those creepy videos. I wasn't really thinking, I just asked her to stay over. Which means we have airtight alibis.
You stayed over? Doesn't that violate one of the school regulations?
We're not allowed to sleep anywhere but the dorms. But it doesn't say we have to stay in our so I don't think that's a problem.
It is a problem! A boy and a girl spending the night together? It's unwholesome!
Oh my god, Taka. Oh my god.
But I'm a girl.
You are? Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry!
But if it wasn't either of you, then what other possibility is there?
Actually, there is one other possibility. Right, Hina?
Ooh, there is another possibility.
Oh, yeah, that's true. One other person did come to the dining hall while we were there.
Ooh.
Why didn't you say so in the first place?
You know, Byakuya makes a pretty good point.
Well, because they're not here anymore.
Oh, it's meant to be like a French-German accent. She claims that her parents are like, one of them is from France and one of them is from Germany. Like when I do her voice, I just make a very exaggerated European accent. But, yeah. So yeah, it's supposed to be like a German-French kind of fusion. Oh, well, it could be Belgian. Or like, sound like Belgian, because like, I think that is like pretty close to what a mixture of a German and French accent would sound. Someone who's not here. Are you talking about Junko?
Sayaka. She's the one who came to the dining hall. And then later...
Yeah, that's probably it. I mean, there's a lot of Americans who think that Europe is a country and not a continent, so that might be something on the localization team. Yeah, and like I think also language-wise, it's kind of a pretty good combo. Sayaka? So yeah, we just had a reveal. Sayaka was the one who took the knife from the kitchen.
I got it! Then, Sayaka is the one who took the knife?
That's the only possibility. And thinking back on it, she was acting kind of unusual. When she came into the dining hall, she didn't even look at us. She just went straight to the kitchen. As she left, she said she just wanted a drink of water. But most likely...
The person who took the knife was the victim herself.
I'm sure she just took it for self-defense.
So you're saying the knife she took was then taken from her, and she was killed with it?
Oh, looks like Makoto's not out of the woods yet.
In that case, you may not have taken the knife, but you still could have killed her.
What?
See? He did do it after all!
No, you're wrong!
So, that's how you would twist the argument and send us all off in the wrong direction?
That is such a protagonist thing. Of course Yufumi's gonna say that.
You possess a most terrifying talent.
Damn, if I don't do something, they're gonna blame me for the murder. Don't they understand? If they convict me, everyone's gonna die.
Hold on. It's still too early to decide conclusively that Makoto is the killer, wouldn't you say?
And once again, Kyoko swoops right in because she is the only adult in this room.
Because you see, if the room did belong to the killer, then they did something most bewildering. And until we unravel that little mystery, you simply can't declare that he's the killer.
Bewildering? What the hell are you talking about?
Something was missing from the scene of the crime that by all rights should have been there.
I mean, to be fair, it is literally a group of teenagers. So, like, I don't think you can fault them that much for, like, jumping to conclusions and, like, putting all the blame on a single person.
You know what I'm talking about, don't you?
Your first Hangman's Gambit is about to begin. Would you like to hear more about it? No, I'm pretty good with that. It's basically like a hangman's game where you have a couple of the letters, and letters are gonna fly on the screen, and you have to shoot the right letters to spell out the solution. Something that should have been at the scene but wasn't. That must be the crucial point. If we can just figure out what that something is. Yeah, pretty much. Although I don't really get the logic of the game because, like I get that all the games are, like, meant to be abstractions of what's actually happening, you know? Kind of like, for an example, the musical numbers in the Chicago movie.
There wasn't a single hair on the floor.
But I don't really get the logic here because, like, I get that it's, like, supposed to be Makoto, like, trying to think of what it is that the rest of them is talking about. But I don't really think that, like, trying to spell it out is a good way to showcase. It's one that often gets, that can get kind of annoying once you notice it. Basically, Kyoko and sometimes Byakuya is going to know exactly what's going on, but instead of explaining it, they're going to ask Makoto to explain it and Makoto to figure it out. So it's very much like a popular meme with the game is, come on, go on Makoto, explain it to them. And it's like, why? And yeah, Fish, that's again a much better idea for what to do in this case. But But to get back to the point, why can't Kyoko and Byakuya just say themselves what they mean? Why do they have to get Makoto to explain it? And there is something that they could have done in the game that I think would be much better. Oh, yeah, I get it. It's because Makoto's the player avatar. He's the one you're playing as. But, like, I think a good in-story reason would be if the other students didn't trust Kyoko and Byakuya. So, like, if you have them be, like, a person that's suspected of being the killer in the case, or just generally untrustworthiness because of Kyoko being kind of mysterious and people not really knowing much about her, and Byakuya, he's very standoffish, people don't really like him. So, like, if they clarified that and then had Makoto kind of be the link between them and the other students, it would make sense. And I think that might be what they're trying to go for, but it doesn't really work the way they do it, I think. But again, this is just a minor complaint, and it's like a necessary evil so that, like, you as the player can be the one who figures things out. And in the future cases, they actually manages to turn it around in a pretty good way. I am talking about the 5th case to be specific. And this case is also one that kind of gets excused from my point of view because it can be seen as Kyoko trying to teach the other students to use critical thinking, and specifically she wants Makoto to figure this case out himself because there are some details to this case that are going to be very upsetting to him and that he's going to try and deny or ignore if he doesn't come to the conclusion himself.
So, the culprit removed some evidence?
Yes, and if I were the culprit, why would I need to get rid of all the hair in my own room?
Plus my hair is brown, so it's like a lot harder to spot.
It wouldn't be unusual at all to find my hair at the crime scene if the crime scene is in my room.
The reason all the hair was gone was to remove any trace that Sayaka had ever been there.
Well, then why the fuck didn't I get rid of the corpse? And why the fuck did I lead everyone to the scene of the crime? Think, Celeste?
That makes sense, does it?
No.
If that were the case, they would have had to do something about the body itself, not just her hair.
Ha ha ha! Yes, very true, very true!
Okay, then why wasn't there any hair on the ground?
The killer got rid of it all, of course, to remove any trace that they had ever been there.
Then that means...
Precisely. It's simply beyond reason to believe that the room's owner and the killer are one and the same.
Then, Makoto isn't the culprit?
Are you sure we can decide something so important based solely on the absence of some hair?
No. There are other reasons that prove why Makoto couldn't have done it.
Well, it's too bad we don't have any bold representation in this game.
I would like to hear these reasons.
Do you remember anything remarkable about the bathroom at the scene? Sayaka was attacked in the main room first, then fled into the bathroom, right?
Yeah, then they ran after her, got into the bathroom, and stabbed her.
And how did the killer get into the bathroom? Did they have any trouble with it?
What do you mean?
It's fairly certain that the killer had some trouble getting into the bathroom. There was clear evidence left behind. Do you remember, Makoto?
The killer struggled getting into the bathroom, and the evidence that proves it is the object the killer broke. Doorknob.
I got it! Evidence that the killer had trouble getting into the bathroom. You're talking about the doorknob, right?
Huh? The doorknob?
The doorknob for my bathroom. It was completely broken. See how the top part was unscrewed? And the doorknob's about ready to fall off?
Oh yeah, true. But what does it mean?
In trying to bypass the lock, they ended up nearly removing the entire doorknob. This is another most bewildering act for the room's owner. It proves Makoto is beyond suspicion.
So what? You're saying he wouldn't break the door in his own room? But if the only choice you have is to break it, you break it. There's nothing bewildering about it.
You still don't see? Okay then. Let's take another look at how the incident unfolded. Hopefully that will help you understand.
Or like, maybe I could just explain, like, the thing where my door gets stuck? Kyoko said it was a bewildering act. I almost didn't notice it at first, but is that the key point here? So let's hear more about Nuns Not the Beat. From here on out, the number of weak spots will start going up. But no matter how many weak spots, there's essentially only one lie or contradiction in that debate. What I'm trying to say is, not all weak spots you see are necessarily false. Use a truth bullet on the wrong one, and not only will you fail to refute what they said, but you'll also lower your trust with everyone, and your influence gauge will take damage. Now this is important, because if your influence gauge reaches 0, you fail. And this is actually kind of a good way to have a health meter. Basically, whenever you get something wrong, you lose influence or essentially trust with everyone else. Which means that if it reaches 0, that you can't partake in the debates anymore because no one trusts you. And with you taken out of the debate, you can't show proof or evidence, which means that everyone is going to come to the wrong conclusion. Yeah, that's right, Simon. And then Kyoko's gonna show up and take a picture of it and post it to her cringe compilation. You'll have to rely on your own logic to determine which weak spots are actually lies or contradictions. Well then, good luck and have fun. Again, figuring out who murdered your best friend. Because it's like, if you can't have fun figuring out the murderer of your friend, like, what are you even doing?
The incident took place in Makoto's room. Sayaka was first attacked in the main room.
I don't know if you'll be able to help commentate. I am not really doing this through Discord, so...
Then the killer ran after her.
Like, I have an actual mic attached to the game and I'm streaming from my PS4.
At that point, the killer had to try and bust down the door.
Oh, bust down the door? Oh, wait, oh, damn it, I picked the wrong one. I thought, like, it was like, no, he didn't bust down the door was just stuck. Well, I guess that's what happens if you get the wrong one.
Sayaka was first attacked in the main room. She then fled into the bathroom.
She fled to the bathroom.
Then the killer ran after her. And they got into the bathroom.
At that point, the killer had to try and bust down the door. Because Sayaka had locked it.
But she didn't lock it. It was this one I was supposed to shoot.
No, it's wrong.
The reason my bathroom didn't open wasn't because it was locked. After all, the girls' rooms are the only ones with walking bathrooms, right?
It's because, like, girls need to lock their bathroom doors so that they can change their tampons. But, like, boys don't mind if anyone comes in to see them masturbate. Oh, if you're asking about the, why I'm doing it like this, I don't really think I can stream through Discord. I don't know how to do that. So, yeah, this is the setup that I use.
Yes, now that you mention it, that is true.
Oh, yeah, well, I'm pretty sure it's like some, Japanese things like, oh, if the girls' bathroom don't have a lock, all of the, yeah, sorry, it's the delay. But it's like, if the girls' bathrooms don't have locks, then the boys are gonna sneak into the bathrooms, but the boys don't need it because girls don't sneak into bathrooms. And there aren't any gay students. But, like, I will refute the point that there aren't any gay students. I am going to say right now, off the bat, that there are at least 4 gay students in this game. And one of them is potentially bi. Or one is potentially bi. Yep.
Then why didn't your bathroom door open?
Because it was stuck.
Huh? What are you talking about?
It was stuck in the past.
My bathroom door doesn't fit in the frame quite right.
But that's okay, because I accept all door frames no matter how they're shaped.
Monokuma over there can testify to
all
that.
doors and door frames are beautiful.
Yep, true as true can be.
And Monokuma agrees.
But you know, you're supposed to be the ultimate lucky student, right? But to have such a cruddy door... That's not lucky at all.
But actually, it was lucky because the door getting stuck was an important part of this case. And we're going to see soon how the door getting stuck is what's going to lead us to nailing the killer. So yeah, it's very much a case of like, oh, you thought this was unlucky, but actually it was supreme luck.
So the reason the door didn't open was just because it was stuck. But the killer didn't know that and assumed it was locked. So they tore apart the doorknob to get in.
Okay, but then why would the killer even think the door was locked in the first place?
Because he couldn't open it.
Everyone should have known you can't lock any of the boys' bathrooms.
The killer could easily make that mistake, thanks to one important detail about the scene of the crime.
He was stupid. The killer was convinced the bathroom door was locked, so they didn't know that the door actually couldn't be locked. In other words, the important detail about the scene of the crime that they didn't know was that the crime took place in my room.
The killer must not have realized that it was my room.
I'm kind of disappointed they didn't have a third option that said, the killer thought I was a girl.
What? Are you saying the culprit didn't even know where he was?
Well, like I said, it was an idiot.
Inconceivable.
Exactly, Andrew.
And yet,
someone switched the nameplate, so the killer thought he was in Sayaka's room.
Say what?
Well, to be more specific, what the killer didn't know was that Makoto and Sayaka had switched rooms, which is what led to the misunderstanding about the bathroom. If Sayaka had been in her own room, then
there would have been a lock on the door, and they would have had to break through!
So they had no idea how unnecessary their actions were.
Well, like, still kind of necessary because they didn't know the trick to actually opening the door.
Ultimately, we can't know if it came open by force or simply by accident. But the killer must have been considerably confused, with no idea how they actually got the door open.
Regardless, it was a pointless act. Wasting time trying to break down a door that wasn't locked is...
Well, I would say the bigger waste of time was killing another student, but like, I guess we're just different in that regard, Byakuya.
Definitely something I wouldn't do, since I would have known exactly why it wasn't opening, right?
That is a definite possibility.
So the killer would have to be someone who didn't know they'd switched rooms?
Which is everyone except for Sayaka and Makoto.
Then Makoto couldn't have done it.
That's what I've been trying to tell you.
Okay, then who did do it?
I'm sorry, but I give up. Quit without saving.
Oh, Hifumi wants to rage quit. Sorry guys, I guess we need to rage quit now. Hifumi said so. Nah, just kidding.
But what happens if we can't decide on who we think did it?
Everyone dies except the killer.
Well, why don't we just vote right now? Majority rules!
Oh my god, Saga, you are such an idiot!
Majority rules? You really think that's a good idea?
Yes, funny joke.
Yeah, our necks are on the line here. Someone seriously needs to do something. For serious.
Seriously?
Does no one have any other thoughts or questions? It does not matter how trivial they may seem.
Oh! As a matter of fact, I do have one question.
Oh, you.
And Celeste immediately is disappointed that it's Hina who's answering.
You don't gotta sound so disappointed.
It's fine, it's fine. Just ask your question.
Yeah, Hina's a good bean.
Yeah. Okay, so, well, I was just wondering, how did the culprit get into Makoto's room in the first place?
Yes. How did the killer get inside?
Maybe Sayaka just dropped the key somewhere
probably
and
the
the culprit
Lolita
picked
style.
it up. That's possible, right?
I don't think so. That seems way too convenient.
Then maybe someone picked the lock?
Negative! If you remember, Monokuma made it quite clear that the locks are all unpickable.
Which is kind of weird, like, how do you make a lock that's unpickable? Like, I mean, I know lockpicking is actually a lot more difficult and closer to impossible in real life than media makes it seem like. But in a game where picking locks is a distinct possibility, how do you make a lock that's unpickable? And like, I would assume that the answer to that is to make it like electronic locks, but the problem with that is they don't use electronic locks, they use keys.
Fine. How about this? The killer got in the easy way. They could have knocked and said they wanted to talk or something, and Miss Maizono just let him in.
No, that can't be it either.
Oh, trying to argue against me? Sounds like someone doesn't know his place. Hello? Why exactly can't that be it?
Because she asked me to do something in particular because of how frightened she was. That's the answer right there. There's no way Sayaka let someone in because... I think it's switching rooms.
I got it! Because Sayaka was already scared, remember? That's why she asked me to switch rooms in the first place.
The same goes for you, Sayaka. No matter who it is, don't open your door for anyone.
Even if I'm sure it's you, I absolutely won't open it. Otherwise, what's the point of even switching?
Knowing what she'd been through, I just can't believe she would have opened the door for anyone.
What if her being scared was a lie?
Dun dun dun.
Huh? Well, what the hell is that supposed to mean? Why would she lie about something like that?
I know you don't want to consider it, but look at this and tell me. Can you still deny the possibility?
There's something I want to talk to you about, just us two. In 5 minutes, come see me in my room. Check the nameplates to make sure you don't get the wrong room, okay?
I found a notepad during my search, and I shaded in the top sheet with a pencil. And these are the words that appeared.
Oh man! I've totally seen people do that on detective shows. When you write, it can leave an imprint. Sketch over the next sheet of paper, and you can see the words.
I've heard of this too. I don't know if it's actually, real, but like, it seems like the kind of thing that would be real.
When I saw that, I was like, holy crap! I better make sure I rip the paper out before I use it from now on.
Because, like, I've definitely seen, like, my mom uses notepads a lot, and I definitely remember, like, seeing imprints from her, from the notes that she'd taken.
It's a pretty old-fashioned technique, but even the classics can be surprisingly useful sometimes.
Like, I definitely think that it depends on how hard you're writing.
Oh, and I should also mention, I found the notepad on the desk in Makoto's room.
Huh?
Which means only someone who had been in Makoto's room before the incident could have written it.
Then either it was Makoto who lived there, or Sayaka who switched rooms for a single night.
So, Makoto, did you write this?
No, I didn't. But
of course you didn't, because the note also bears a perfectly legible signature. Sayaka's signature.
And that note, Sayaka wrote it?
But why? Why would she write that?
The note was likely her way of getting in touch with a certain someone. She must have slid it under their door to let them know she wanted to meet with them in secret.
If you got an invitation like that from the ultimate pop sensation, what young man could resist?
A gay one?
Of course, I'm only into 2D, so it wouldn't have any effect on me.
But like, you're all cardboard cutouts, so like, technically she's 2D.
But can we be sure anyone even got this note? And honestly, even if they did, I do not think they are at all involved in what happened.
Huh? What makes you say that?
Would you like to hear what I have to say? Very well then. Pay attention.
I do like Celeste. Like, she's definitely not like a good person, but like, I really like her character.
Sayaka and Makoto switched rooms, correct? But in the note, the place they were asked to come to, it specifically says, my room.
I see. So if someone read that note, then they would have gone to Sayaka's room.
Exactly. The room with Makoto.
Wrong, because the nameplates were switched.
The nameplates on Mai and Sayaka's rooms got switched.
They got switched?
That's right. The nameplates got switched, just like the rooms themselves. As a result, the nameplate on Sayaka's room actually had Makoto's name.
Man, isn't it just Sayaka's luck that she asked someone to go to her room and someone then switched the dorm plates so that they actually went to where she was instead of her actual room?
And the nameplate on Makoto's room had Sayaka's.
So what you're saying is, the room Sayaka was staying in was
yeah, they never
marked
acknowledged
as her
that the dorm plates also have their pictures on it.
Then, if someone did do what the note said, they would end up at Makoto's room where Sayaka was.
Plus, their rooms are right next to each other, so switching the nameplates would be no problem. And the one who switched the names was... Well, of course it wasn't you, right, Makoto?
Right? Okay, then who did it?
There's only one person who could have switched the nameplates. The only other person who knew we had switched rooms.
I got it! Me and Sayaka were the only ones who ever knew about us switching rooms. So the only other person besides me who would even know to switch the nameplates was Sayaka.
You can also infer as much from her note.
There's something I want to talk to you about. Just us two. In 5 minutes, come see me in my room. Check the nameplates to make sure you don't get the wrong room, okay?
She specifically tells the reader to check the nameplate. She would only have written that if she knew the nameplates had been switched.
But why would she switch them in the first place?
She wanted someone to come to the room she was in, and also hide the fact that it was Makoto's room.
Oh, hey, Fish. I'm mixing up my names, but like, maybe it's not a suicide. I mean, like, maybe she really just wanted to talk to someone. But then she had swapped rooms with Makoto and she didn't want to get into the whole detail about that. You know, it would be kind of awkward to explain why she's in Makoto's room when she already signed the note with her name, so...
What?
Inviting someone to your room, but not telling them you'd switched rooms. Why would anyone do that?
I just explained it.
To understand that, we first need to understand what happened after she invited the person into the room. That's where the answer lies.
What happened then was probably whoever she invited over came in and attacked her. We figured it out! We know who did it! Whoever she invited over is the culprit!
Oh my god, Taka, you sweet idiot.
But we still don't know who it is, you goddamn idiot!
Yes, thank you, Mondo.
Sayaka fought with her killer there in the room, yes?
Also, guys, slight spoiler for the next chapter of this game, but turns out Mondo is more unsexual.
Perhaps the answer to our previous question lies in that initial struggle.
Yes, I think you're right.
Then... we just have to figure out what happened during the fight, right?
That reminds me. There was a replica sword at the murder scene. Was that perhaps used during the fight?
Oh yeah. What's the deal with that sword?
Sayaka suggested I should hold on to it. I thought it might come in handy if I had to defend myself.
But like,
Seems
guys, why would Sayaka go to all that trouble in order to commit suicide? So, well, I'm trying to make this stream spoiler-free for everyone. But like, Sayaka would have no reason to like commit suicide by getting someone else to kill her. Like, if she wanted to kill herself, she would have just done it. Like, What's the point of making someone kill her for it?
How the hell could you possibly know that's what broke her wrist?
The reason I know Sayaka's wrist was broken with the fake sword is because when you look at her wrist, there's no doubt. Sayaka's wrist, it has gold paint on it.
All you have to do is take a good
sword.
look at her broken wrist, and it should become pretty clear. Right there where her wrist is all swollen. There's something glittery there. See?
Is that gold?
It sure is. Specifically, the gold coating from the replica sword. You barely have to touch that stuff, and it'll stick right to you. And there's some on her wrist because...
I got it! Because she got hit with the sword!
No, unicorn
right
blood is silver, not golden.
I see. And so the truth draws ever closer.
Alright, then it's about time to solve this mystery.
What happened in my room? And what led to Sayaka's death? That's what we need to make clear. There's a bit more to learn about non-stop debates. Would you like to hear more? Are you getting used to these non-stop debates? Starting with the next debate, I'll start loading more multiple truth bullets into your truth cylinder. But just like the weak spots, only one of those bullets can actually refute the proper statement. In other words, from here on out, you'll have to combine the right truth bullets with the right weak spots to refute each statement. If you come up with the wrong combinations, you'll take damage to your influence gauge. You can press the L1 button to rotate the cylinder and choose which bullet to fire. Press and release the L1 button to cycle through each bullet. Or you can hold down the L1 button and then use the left stick to select a specific bullet. By the way, if the logic difficulty is set to kind, fewer bullets will be loaded into the cylinder. For our purpose this time, the logic difficulty will be set to mean. Well then, good luck and have fun!
When the fighting broke out, the culprit grabbed the sword, and that's when the first blow was dealt.
I think it's the sword sheath.
Sword-based sneak attack!
But it couldn't be a sneak attack because there are like damage on the sheath of the sword itself.
Actually, no. I don't think the fight started with the sword.
Why not?
Well, if you want real trials to be like this, you gotta gather a bunch of teens in a circle.
Because the sword sheath had been scratched. See?
Right,
there's
scratch,
a gash.
That was the word I was thinking
like someone cut into it with something sharp.
Something sharp? You mean like the kitchen knife? That was the only sharp thing found at the scene.
Stop jumping ahead! Slow down and explain it so I get what the hell's going on.
Mondo's not too smart himself, but he's more, bad at book smarts, whereas Taka is more bad at everything else smarts.
If the sword was used first, there wouldn't be any explanation for the scratch on the sheath. If you are going to attack with the sword, you take it out of the sheath first, right?
I mean, again, all you have to think about is that the killer is an idiot.
That's true. With the sheath on, it'd be heavy and bulky and useless as shit.
Okay, so how did the sheath get damaged?
If they got attacked with the kitchen knife, maybe they grabbed the sword as a defensive impulse. In that situation, there wouldn't be any time to actually unsheath the sword.
So you're saying the sword was initially used to defend against an attack from the knife?
Which means whoever had the kitchen knife was the one who attacked first.
I think I get it! So here's how it all played out. The culprit came in, found the kitchen knife hidden there somewhere.
Well, it's actually meant to be a pompadour. Which is kind of weird because, the pompadour is used by older delinquents, whereas current age delinquents in Japan, they tend to, shape their hair very short, with a buzz cut and bleach it blonde. Think of Ryuji from Persona 5.
Then they took the knife and attacked Sayaka before she knew what was happening. So she grabbed the sword to defend herself, but then the culprit took that from her too. Then, after they broke her wrist with the sword, they took the knife and finished it.
Sorry, but I don't think Sayaka used the sword to defend herself.
What?
How the hell can you not think that?
Because she never held the sword at all. There's a certain part of her body that makes this clear.
Her soul. The part of her body that shows she never used the sword. If you wanted to use a sword, which part of your body would have to touch it? Your stomach!
I got it! You're talking about her palms, right? The palms of her hands were perfectly clean, so I don't think she ever picked up the sword.
Oh, so that's why his pompadour is so big, because he's the leader of the gang, and he is basically the ultimate biker gang leader, so...
How can you know that just by looking at her palms?
Like I said before, the gold coating on that sword comes right off. All you have to do is touch it. In fact, if you look, you'll notice that a lot of the gold has already come off the handle.
Oh my god.
It's safe to assume that's because whoever used the sword got some of it on their hands.
Oh well, its leaders have more ornate styles that also kind of fits in with Mondo because of his backstory, which we'll learn about later on.
There's really no way she could have picked it up and come away completely clean.
Maybe she washed her hands after she escaped into the bathroom.
Sorry, but I don't think so.
Why do you say that? Is it because you think I'm ugly?
No, that's not it at all.
Okay, this isn't really a spoiler, but the reason why Toko has, why she acts like that is because she's been heavily abused by her parents. Specifically her mothers. She has one dad and two moms. Kind of a polyamorous thing, but the two mothers aren't together, it's just the dad who has two wives. There's no way Sayaka washed the gold coating off her hands because there's a certain regulation that talks about what happens to the bathrooms at nighttime.
I got it! According to the Monokuma file, Sayaka's time of death was around 1:30 a.m.
Yeah, there's actually a scene in the game. I don't think if it's in the normal story or if it's in one of her character scenes, but she talks about how her mothers would trap her inside a closet. And she also mentions earlier, I think in her playthrough, she mentioned that she's never really eaten with other people before.
In other words, at nighttime. And the water in the bathroom shuts off at nighttime, right?
Oh, I didn't know that. Actually, I haven't taken a shower yet.
Yeah, that's another thing. Toko is kind of scared of taking showers, so when you combine that with how she's been abused by her mothers, yeah.
Oh my.
You're no different. You smell like a big fat ugly donkey.
I'm not sure whether to take that as an insult or a compliment.
The best thing I can think of is that it's only the bathrooms in people's rooms that get turned off. So like the public bathrooms around the school, they still have water. So like I think the reason why they turn off is in order to get students out at nighttime so that they're a better target for a potential murder. But, like, I don't know if, like, maybe there's something in Japan where dorm bathrooms get their water shut off at nighttime. I don't know if there's something about that.
Insult, obviously.
So anyway, if Sayaka never touched the sword, then that means the killer is the only one who used the sword. But hold on. If that's right, then the one who damaged the sheath with the kitchen knife was...
The one who damaged the sheath would have to have been the one without the sword. Sayaka.
Sayaka? She had the kitchen knife?
But we already said that the attack started with...
The person with the knife attacked first, and the sword was used as an impromptu defense.
Then the one who attacked first was...
Sayaka?
Yep.
Now do you understand? She wasn't a blameless victim in this.
No, far from it. It's almost as if she'd been planning to commit a murder of her own.
What?
She took the knife from the kitchen, then invited the culprit to the room she was staying in. And if it's true that she had the kitchen knife and attacked without provocation...
Indeed. These are all the actions of an assailant.
Well, Looks like Sayaka was actually the one planning on committing a murder.
Which brings up another point. Makoto, Sayaka was the one who suggested you two switch rooms, correct? Maybe the reason she wanted to switch rooms was so that she could pin the crime on you. That is a possibility.
Sayaka wanted to... on me?
Well, Makoto, you did promise her that you would help her get out of there.
That would also explain why she would switch the nameplates. She wanted to get whoever she had targeted to come to Makoto's room, where she was staying. And by committing the murder there, instead of her room, that would implicate Makoto. But for that to work, the target had to be lured out, while still keeping the room swap a secret. If the target knew she had switched rooms, they would have become suspicious right away.
I mean, she's not really yandere because she didn't do it because she's in love with Makoto.
So all that's
but
why
yeah,
she switched the names?
she is definitely a psycho.
But doesn't that plan seem a little risky? For one thing, even if her plan worked, Mr. Naegi would just tell everyone they'd switched rooms.
I don't know. I'm not sure our soft-hearted Makoto is capable of that kind of cutthroat behavior.
Yeah, if things had played out the way Sayaka wanted, I don't think that Makoto would actually have turned against her. He would be like, okay, so Sayaka doesn't want people to tell us that we switched rooms, but that's just because she doesn't want to be the one blamed.
I'm sure Sayaka realized the same thing, which is why out of all of us, she asked him to switch rooms.
Have you thought about this, Fish? Maybe she lied about that. Maybe she had already at that point planned on using Makoto as the scapegoat.
Plus, she was the ultimate pop sensation. A totally forgettable kid. Or a national superstar. Who are you more likely to believe?
Wait, then you're saying she had this all planned out?
Holy shit!
But in the end, her plan backfired. She launched her attack with the knife, then found herself under attack in turn. That must be when her wrist got broken, and she was forced to drop the knife.
Remember, Sayaka was also the one who made Makoto promise that he would always be on her side. She was planning on getting him blamed for the murder, and then when he was accused, he wouldn't have the gall to try and turn it back on Sayaka, because he had promised he would always be on her side. Had promised that he would help her get out of there.
The tables were suddenly turned on her, and she died at the hands of the one she'd planned to murder.
So yeah, Sayaka was manipulating Makoto from the beginning.
Just hold on! That can't be true! Because...
Hey! You guys have totally derailed the argument!
Oh, come on, Monokuma. I would expect that you would find this drama particularly juicy.
You're being super boring right now. Come on, hurry up and decide who did it!
I love that meme.
Wouldn't it be awful if I had to punish you all just because you ran out of time?
Look, Monokuma, I get that you want us back on the case and all that, but I would expect that the despair that Makoto is feeling from having been betrayed by someone he considered a friend and possibly a love interest, knowing that all the sweet moments between them were completely false, nothing but lies and deception in order to sink her claws in him so that he could be the scapegoat for her escape.
Oh yeah, we gotta decide who we think did it.
Makoto, right now you just need to concentrate on figuring out the answer to this mystery. If we can't uncover who murdered Sayaka, it's over for all of us.
Is it really all over? Obviously I'm committed to finding out who killed her, but what can I do? I mean, as far as clues go, there's nothing left. Dying message.
It's easy just to say, hey, decide who did it. But there just aren't any more clues, right?
Maybe it's this one too. Yep.
No, it's wrong. There still might be one clue left. Sayaka's dying message.
Now, if this was an Ace Attorney game, the dying message would be false.
Wait, what did you say?
The dying message. She wrote something on the wall behind her, remember? 11037. Written in her
God,
own
you guys,
blood.
I have no idea
there.
what this could possibly mean.
Well, before we get too far into that, I need to ask, can we really be sure that Sayaka is the one who wrote it?
That's a good point, Celeste. There's no question that Sayaka wrote that message, and I can prove it. Her left index finger. But like, again, the killer could have just used her left index finger to write the message.
That could only be
But
because
that's
she
not
used
really a
that
possibility
finger
to
to
think
write the
about.
message.
It indeed does, and it's one of the biggest strengths in this series. Even if you manage to figure out who the killer is, every single case is going to have a big twist like this. And this is why it's a very good idea to actually get to know the other characters, because it makes these twists that much more powerful.
I see. She broke her right wrist during the fight, so she'd have to use her left hand to write.
Sure. I think we can all agree Sayaka wrote it.
Oh,
But
wait,
still.
Fish, you were talking about the dying message, not Sayaka's betrayal. Sorry. But like, yeah, the dying message, it turns the entire case on its head. What could it possibly mean?
What the heck do those numbers mean? 11037?
But like, yeah, this is another thing where I think in the Japanese version, this would have made more sense that they would assume it's numbers.
Hey, Chihiro. You're a computer nerd or whatever, right? You should know all about numbers and shit.
No, that's not... Yes, I'm a programmer, but I don't see any kind of meaning in these numbers.
Of course. It's because they're not numbers.
Oh, yeah, it looks like...
Huh? What?
No, it's just... look at the numbers, assuming they're not numbers. Don't these first two, 1-1, look less like two numbers and more like one letter?
Oh, I'm not sure what you mean with family stream. Like, if you mean, am I streaming with my family? No, this is just, us friends together. If you mean if it's family friendly, well, this is a game about murder. And it talks about things like murder and suicide. And, I'm not really the type who censors myself a lot when it comes to curse words. So, yeah, I wouldn't really call this stream family friendly. So, in both regards, that's a no.
Ah, you're right. The connecting line is barely there, so I assumed it was 1-1.
Well, Mondo cussed like a sailor.
Looking at it now, you could also read it as an N.
Well, it's nice of you to ask before saying that, but yeah, there is no problem. Like, as long as you don't, like, my biggest no to these kinds of streams are, slurs and attacking groups of people. Like we don't want this. We want everyone to have fun with this. There should be room for everyone to have fun with this. Of course, TERFs don't count because TERFs aren't a marginalized group and they suck.
Whoa, you might have finally just said something worth a shit.
Rude, Mondo.
Our little gray cells are really getting excited now.
But even if that really is an N,
It's number 37.
doesn't make any more sense than before.
Of course! We need to go to the Kids Next Door wiki. You remember that, Fish? We need to go to the Kids Next Door wiki, figure out who number 37 is. They're the killer! Damn it! It's no use! I just don't know!
Rotate the image 180 degrees.
I am literally giving you the answer right now. You guys are so stupid! Rotate it? I think, maybe I see something! Oh my god!
Now I see! She wrote down the killer's name!
Huh?
You just shot past the clue part and right onto who did it.
So, whose name did she write?
It's no use! Sayaka's dying message reveals the real killer's name. If you turn her message 180 degrees, it should become crystal clear.
Here's my answer.
Oh my god, it was
The key to
Leon!
solving this mystery was simply to rotate the writing 180 degrees.
This is the third time we're mentioning this.
If you turn the message around, it becomes the letters L-E-O-N. L-E-O-N, or more accurately, Leon.
Again, this was probably a bigger twist in the Japanese version.
What the hell are you talking about?
Well, if they just said upside down, they might, think that you're meant to read it the same way that it's written, when it's the normal side. So then they might be, no L, of course.
It's just a bunch of random squiggles that happen to look like my name.
Okay, I don't think that those looks like anything like random squiggles.
No, it's not random at all. She wrote that message on the wall behind her as she was leaning up against it. In that position, she couldn't move to write normally, and had to write upside down, as it were. And as a result, when you look at it standing in front of her, it ends up getting flipped. Try it for yourself if you want. Write something sitting like her, and the letters will be inverted.
That sounds like one hell of a stretch to me. I'm the killer? You can't just go and say shit like that.
If you're not the killer, then why did you try to destroy the evidence?
Oh.
You know what I'm talking about, right, Makoto? The evidence Leon tried to get rid of?
Maybe it's the hairs. No, it's the thing I found on the ground in the incinerator, right?
I got it! You mean the burnt shirt piece I found laying on the ground by the incinerator, right?
As the killer stabbed Sayaka, they must have gotten some of her blood on them. And to dispose of the shirt covered in the victim's blood, they threw it into the incinerator.
But one piece burned off and got left behind.
And the killer didn't notice. If they had, they most certainly would have panicked. Isn't that right, Leon?
But is one scrap of fabric enough to conclude that Leon is guilty?
I mean, we also have Sayaka's dying message.
Yeah, I mean, Leon's not the only one wearing a white button-up.
That's right. There are plenty of other people here with shirts like mine.
I mean, would you really call his shirt a white button-up? There's a giant safety pin on it.
With just that one little charred piece, there's no way you can say for sure who it belongs to.
You're right. That alone isn't enough. But there are some other points that may reveal the truth.
Are you finally starting to understand? The answers to all the riddles are right here.
Yeah, I think so.
The burned remains of the button-up shirt, which the killer wasn't able to get rid of. There's something about it we need to pay attention to in order to figure out who's responsible. How it was disposed of.
If we look closely at how the shirt was disposed of, we should be able to figure out who the killer is.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. I think I know what you're gonna say. You can't reach the incinerator without opening the gate in front of the trash room, right?
Well, technically if we played as her, we would be the ones who needed to figure everything out.
And obviously, you wouldn't be able to hit the switch to turn it on either.
The reason why we're not playing as her is because this game series isn't progressive enough to have a female protagonist. You need to wait till the third game before that.
You need the key to get in, and the one with the key was the person on cleaning duty. So the killer had to be whoever was in charge of taking care of the trash, right?
Well, right now we're trying to take care of the trash, Leon.
Interesting.
No, that's wrong. There was another way to use the incinerator without being the one on cleaning duty. And that's exactly what proves Leon is the real killer. the shattered crystal ball, which was actually made of glass.
Whoever was on cleaning duty must have had it, right?
So the only one who could get to the incinerator was the person in charge of the trash?
I think it's
you'd
this
have
one.
to get close to
No,
the
it's this one.
incinerator in order. No, that's wrong.
Hold on. I think I know how someone could dispose of the evidence without using the trash room key.
But if you can't get past the gate, you couldn't possibly turn on the incinerator, could you?
Yes, you could. If you used this.
What is it, some kind of glass ball? It's busted to hell.
Actually, it was supposed to be a crystal ball, but,
And he spent so much money on it. And he thought it would let him control the universe. And he forgot it in the laundry room.
But how would you use it?
The killer had to use the glass ball in a certain way, which is divine with it. Now he threw it.
The killer simply took aim at the incinerator switch and threw the ball through a gap in the
Do you
gate.
guys think Liam's beard is real? Or do you think it's like, it's glued on? Like, you know, a fake beard that he put on to be more mature?
All they had to do was hit that switch, and the incinerator would come to life.
Like, Liam's whole thing is that he actually really hates baseball, even though he's the ultimate baseball star. And he wants to be the ultimate musician instead. So that's why he has that current style he has.
Through a gap in the gate?
Remember what you said before, Hifumi?
Huh? Someone turned the incinerator on. Very strange. I'm quite certain it was off last time I was down here.
Yeah, probably, but like the question is Liam even capable of growing facial hair?
Perhaps it was the work of a fairy.
Oh, that's a good point, Hifumi.
Hifumi had the key, so the only way the incinerator could have been turned on without his knowledge was because the killer was able to hit the switch without opening the gate. Once they got the incinerator going, all they had to do was ball up the shirt and toss it in.
Hey, come on! What the hell is this?
All you have to do is look at the scene to know that the killer never actually went inside the trash room. The shards of broken glass, the incinerator left running, the piece of shirt that escaped the fire.
You're right, Hifumi's cancelled.
If the killer had been on cleaning duty, the evidence would have been taken care of much more thoroughly.
Wait, no, just hold on.
But the distance from the gate to the incinerator has to be at least 30 feet, right? The pinpoint accuracy you'd need to throw a glass ball that far and hit something that small. Could someone really do that?
That's right. There's no way. It'd be impossible.
Difficult, absolutely. Impossible? I don't think so. Because the killer is
an idiot. It wouldn't have been much of a challenge at all for the killer because ultimate baseball star, ultimate fanfic creator.
I got it! Because the killer is the ultimate baseball star.
Isn't that right, Leon? Do you have any idea how stupid you sound right now?
A target 30 feet away would surely be little challenge for the ultimate baseball star.
You can't be serious. I'm not the killer! These goddamn shipper brains have got it all wrong, I'm telling you!
No swearing in our Christian stream.
You still won't admit it? Okay then. Makoto, go ahead and review the incident one more time to make his crime perfectly clear. And with that, we can end this.
Listen to me! What the hell do you mean, end this?
Say what you want, Leon. But all the questions have been answered. And the truth has been revealed. Now here's what happened.
The closing argument is about to begin. Would you like to hear more? Oh, not at all. So the closing argument is basically, you know, summarizing the case, and I love how they do this. Basically, they do it like this. You have a manga, and you have different panels that you need to insert into the manga. My room was the scene of the crime. The incident began when the killer entered. So we need to get a panel of the killer entering the room. first, when Sayaka attacked the killer with the knife, they noticed something in my room. Yeah, this and the truth bullets, these are really, really good abstractions of things that happen in an actual court case. And it's why I find the Hangman's Gambit so lacking compared to the rest. They used that object to deflect Sayaka's attack, which is why that evidence was damaged. Actually, I think the second game has a better thing. It's kind of like something where you basically have to like surf on a board and you have to follow different thought patterns or like lines of thinking, lines of logic in order to get to the right conclusion. I think that was a much better way of handling that particular aspect of the game. After the killers countered Sayaka's attack with an attack of their own, what did they do next? Okay, I think it was they were menacing Sayaka, who noticed the bathroom and ran in. They forced the bathroom door open. The only logical way they could have done this was with the screwdriver. After she was stabbed, Sayaka used the last of her strength to leave something behind. The message. Actually, I think if you look at the message here, it looks like she was actually written in katakana and not the letters from the game. So like that's interesting. Maybe she didn't use European letters at all. Maybe she wrote the message in katakana, in which case it still makes no sense why they would assume that the message was why they wouldn't. Oh right, focus, sorry. The killer used an item in my room to help dispose of evidence. They used the lint roller. Right, I wasn't talking about the O, I was talking about the one beside her, because like those two lines that are supposed to be the three in this case, they aren't connected, which was what made me think of katakana. The object the killer threw to activate the incinerator must have been a crystal bowl. What the killer threw into... Wait. What? What the killer threw in... Oh, okay, so this is the shirt. And then the final one. As you can see, some of the panels are going to be cheats, and there's going to be more of them as the cases progress. And now we reenact.
You! I think I'd better take one more look back at the case from the beginning.
And now we're basically gonna get an animated comic version of the entire murder as it took place. It's so
From what we can tell, Sayaka invited that person there intending to kill them.
Whoever came up with this idea, they need to get erased because this was a stroke of genius.
She attacked them with the knife she'd taken from the kitchen earlier.
Ba-dum, ba-dum. Cha-cha! Bang!
But then something happened that she wasn't prepared for. They grabbed the fake sword I put in my room and fought back. During the struggle, a strike from the sword broke Sayaka's right wrist.
Done.
And that's when she lost her grip on the kitchen knife. Finding herself cornered, Sayaka panicked and ran into the bathroom. The killer went after her, but couldn't get the bathroom door open. What they didn't know was that my bathroom door got stuck easily. Sayaka knew about that because I told her, but of course the killer had no way of knowing. So instead, the killer forced the door open, took the kitchen knife, and stabbed Sayaka. But with what strength she had remaining, Sayaka left a dying message.
Let me cake, she says, just like Marie Antoinette.
To keep the killer from noticing, she wrote it on the wall behind her. And with that,
I don't know if you were
strength was
expecting
gone.
like a JoJo reference, Simon, but I haven't actually watched JoJo, so yeah. The only JoJo reference I kind of know about is, but it was Dio.
With Sayaka dead, the killer quickly began destroying the evidence.
But like,
First,
I
they
love
took off
Queen's
their
music.
shirt, which was covered in their victim's blood.
They're probably one of my favorite bands, even if I only know like a handful of their songs. Okay, that's good.
Then they took the lint roller in my room and cleaned up the entire area. They wanted to make sure they got rid of any trace they'd ever been there.
Because they had hideous, flaming red hair that would be easily spotted on blue carpet.
Afterwards, the killer headed to the trash room to destroy their bloody shirt. They tried to burn the shirt using the incinerator.
I mean, they
bin.
could have just hidden their bloody shirt in their own room because, like, we never thought about searching people's rooms anyway.
But the trash room was blocked off by an especially sturdy gate, preventing access to the incinerator. So they came up with a plan to use Hiro's crystal ball, which he left in the laundry room. The killer managed to throw the ball through the gap. For any normal person, that'd be an impossible throw. But the killer had the confidence to take a shot. And that's because the killer was the ultimate baseball star. The crystal ball, thrown with absolute precision, hit the switch on the incinerator, which then quickly roared to life. Having destroyed the final piece of evidence, they left the area with it. But there was one thing they missed. Part of the shirt they'd thrown into the fire burnt away and fell out of the incinerator.
I hadn't noticed that.
The killer didn't notice this, and so left behind a piece of indisputable evidence.
Boom!
Isn't that right, Leon? It would appear that Hiro simply forgot his crystal ball in the laundry room. You went there to try and wash the blood out of your shirt, and that's where you saw it, right?
We didn't have time to include that in the comic, but that's what happened.
Seeing the ball, you thought of a way to take care of everything.
So, Leon, do you object to anything that's been said?
Do I object? Hell yes, I object! Of course I do! I object! I object! I object! I mean, all of this is just a bunch of stupid theories! You need evidence! Where's the evidence? Without evidence, it's all bullshit! It's bullshit and I refuse to acknowledge it!
Well then, I guess this is as good a time as any to present the evidence that proves you did it. Makoto, I believe you're in possession of that evidence.
I have the evidence? It's almost like I'm the main character. Your first bullet time battle is about to begin. Would you like to hear more? Bullet time battle isn't as ingenious as the truth bullet segment or the closing argument segment, but I still think it's more clever than the Hangman's Gambit. Sometimes during a class trial, your opponent simply won't want to hear what you have to say. When this happens, you will engage them in a head-to-head battle. And just as an aside note, this isn't always going to be with the killer, and it's not always going to be at the very end of the class trial. We like to refer to this as the bullet time battle, aka the BTB BTW. During the BTB, you want to destroy your opponent's statements in time with the rhythm. So yeah, it's a rhythm game, and I'm actually pretty damn good at rhythm games. Match your button presses with each tempo marker as they move across the screen and reach the center. Press the X button to lock onto an opponent's statement. Destroy the statement you've locked onto with the triangle button as the tempo marker reaches the center. Use this method to deal damage to your opponent. If you can't pull it off, you'll be the one in pain. Do this consecutively and you'll start a combo. Keep this going and you'll initiate the tempo up. On the flip side, if you keep missing, you'll get into a tempo down situation. When the tempo changes, so does the timing for hitting each button. So watch out for that. Deal enough damage to your opponent and their weak spot statement will appear. At this point you can press the triangle button to shoot down a truth bullet, like any other statement. Refute their statement fast enough and you'll come out victorious. But just like before, if your influence gauge reaches 0 or you run out of time, you fail. Well then, good luck and have fun! You're going to sentence this kid to death!
From the doorknob, they didn't use anything from your room to do it. Instead, they must have used something that belonged to them.
They used something of their own to remove the screws. Could it have been?
I refuse to acknowledge you! You're stupid! Stupid, stupid, stupid!
Baka, baka, baka!
Stupid, 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 stupid!
I just know he's saying baka in the original. I have to show indisputable evidence that Leon is the killer. I need to figure it out.
Where's your proof? You kidding me? Not a chance! It wasn't me! Stupid! You lie! Stop talking! Shut up! Where's your proof? You kidding me? Not a chance! Stupid! You lie! Shut up! Where's your proof? You kidding me? Not a chance! It wasn't me!
Final strike.
Where's your proof?
This should prove it.
So yeah, not too impressive right now, but I promise as we're gonna get further in, my skills at rhythm games are gonna be very impressive. The screws on the bathroom doorknob were removed.
I wonder what kind of tool the killer used to remove them.
A hammer.
I mean, it had to be a screwdriver, right?
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure the toolkits we got each had one inside.
And that must be what he used. There aren't any other tools anywhere.
And if you guys remember from the investigation portion, Mondo said that none of the boys had actually opened their toolkits because, well, they didn't have a use for it. So like, if only we had thought about asking everyone to show their screwdriver or like their toolkits at the moment where we figured out that someone had used a screwdriver to unlock the door.
But the toolkit in my room had clearly never been
Yeah,
used.
unfortunately it's not going to be quite that case in every other thing. Like I said before, it's not always the killer that you're going to do the bullet time battle with, and it's not always going to be at the very end.
That's because the culprit didn't know it was your room. They thought they were in Sayaka's room.
Only the boys got toolkits, so the killer naturally assumed there wouldn't be one in there.
Okay, then whose toolkit did the killer use?
Stupid, stupid, stupid!
It had to be their very own toolkit.
Stupid, 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 stupid!
Leon, would you mind showing us your toolkit? If I'm right about this, then the screwdriver will show some evidence of being used.
Stupid, stupid, stupid!
Huh? And if you say you used it for something else, you'll have to explain exactly when, where, and why.
And let me say this right now. I lost it isn't an excuse at this point.
Stupid.
So, you have no rebuttal?
Then it would seem we are finished here.
Let's see what scores we got. Ooh, and it was ace all around. And we got some Monokuma coins.
Looks like you've reached your verdict. Then are we ready to cast our votes? You all have a lever in front of you. Use it to make your selection.
I kind of wonder how the lever is used to make the selection. Because, like, you pull a lever, it doesn't really allow for selection.
Just to remind you all, make triple sure you vote for someone. You wouldn't want to be punished for something so minor, right?
Oh, I just noticed, the red Monokuma eye kind of looks like, an eye that's closed, with, like, the marks being like eyelashes. That's kind of cool.
Okay, then let's get excited! Who will be chosen as the Blackened? Will you make the right choice, or the dreadfully wrong one? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
Oh, just heads up, I'm going to remove the, music from the, execution part, because, like, I'm pretty sure that music is copyrighted, and I don't want to have my entire stream taken down. So, I'm just gonna do that now. It's on System, and Options, and background music there. So I hope that, yeah, I hope that works.
Looks like you got it right on the money. The blanket in this case, the one that killed Sayaka, was none other than Leon Kawada.
Huh? Hey, hold on.
Hold on a second. Leon, did you really kill Sayaka?
But...
I don't believe it.
You son of a bitch!
Son of a bitch! What the hell's wrong with you?
I didn't have a choice.
It was kill or be killed.
So, that's why...
I killed her first.
None of you are any different!
One wrong step and you'd be the one standing here! It was complete chance that I wound up like this.
I was just... unlucky. That's all. Hey! Come on!
You expect me to just accept my death? Everything's become clear. The decision we made was right after all. But when I think about that, honestly, I'd be better off if we'd been wrong. Because if what we came up with really is the truth, then that truth is that Sayaka was trying to frame me. But even if that's true, I can't say she was wrong. After all, the mastermind. It's all because of that video. Even I couldn't handle what I saw in there. If I was her, and the video actually had something to do with me, I can't even imagine. Now we're trapped here with no way out. They're probably waiting for me. Why? I can't afford to be stuck in here. The one thing that was more important to her than anything else. Her dreams. Her friends. To have to see something like that happen to them. And Sayaka. I did whatever it took to reach that dream. I mean it. Even some things that weren't so pleasant. And that's why Sayaka, for the friends that meant so much to her, that's why she betrayed me. So, when she said,
"No matter what happens, please always be there for me. I need you on my side."
She was lying to me from the very beginning. She was using me. Is that why she talked to me in the first place? I guess I'll never know. Because there's nothing I can do to ask her what she was thinking. Once you're dead, That's that.
Boy, howdy, the entertainment industry must sure be terrifying, huh? I mean, to try and kill someone just because of those relationships. She seemed so nice and lovely on the outside, but inside, she's descended into pure madness.
What did you say?
Phew.
I understand, really, I do. Yup. You're in utter despair thanks to Sayaka's betrayal, right? Compassion, intimacy, love. The stronger those feelings, the stronger the despair when they collapse.
Stop screwing with us. This is all your fault. Sayaka being forced to do something like that. All of it. Everything. It's all your fault. Suddenly, in a frenzy, I lunged at Monokuma. But...
That's enough.
As angry as I was, Kyoko latched onto my arm without hesitation. Her grip was like iron, strong enough I was sure it would leave a bruise.
Calm down.
If you really want to make her enemies pay for what they've done, you need to let it go for now. Damn it!
Ba-bum.
Oh, that was a close one. I thought for sure you were gonna give me a good walloping. Just barely avoided punishment, you did.
Barely.
Yes, indeed.
Now then, since you so magnificently revealed the identity of the killer during the class trial, the blackened Leon Kawada will receive his punishment.
Punishment?
Punishment?
You mean execution? Wait a second!
I didn't have a choice. I had to kill her.
Yeah, that's it.
I was just protecting myself in the heat of the moment. It was self-defense.
Is that okay?
How exactly was it self-defense? Then you forced your way into the bathroom? Did you or did you not use your very own toolkit? After she'd shot herself in the bathroom, you went out of your way to head back to your own room. Then you came all the way back, broke into the bathroom, and killed her. Am I wrong?
Do you understand?
You had any number of chances to stop what you were doing, but you chose not to. Is it not because you had an unclouded intent to commit murder?
So, that's why...
No, that's not... Stop it. I've had enough of this. Oh, are you sure? You were closer to her than anyone, were you not? He killed your precious Sayaka. Do you understand? I can't say Leon is solely to blame. Of course, I don't plan on blaming Sayaka either. Because the one to blame is him.
Huh?
Say what?
Say what? If it weren't for you, this never would have happened to Sayaka or Leon. We shouldn't be fighting each other. We should be fighting against the one who put us in this situation, the mastermind.
Unbelievable.
Did you awaken to your sense of justice?
Hey,
Well, it just so happens that there's nothing more unethical than an unwavering sense of justice. After all, it's people with that sort of mentality that perpetuate war all over the world.
Oh hey, Monokuma's anti-war people.
Is that the kind of justice that's awakened within you?
Just shut up.
Okay, well, anyway, more importantly...
Thrills, chills,
Let's hurry up and get to what everyone's been waiting for! The punishment!
I'm begging you! Please, don't do this!
Hey,
No more
on
begging,
now.
no more excuses! You must pay the penalty for breaking the rules! Society demands it!
And guys, we do live in a society.
Stop! Please!
Now then, I've prepared a very special punishment.
For Leon Kawada, the ultimate baseball star!
No, 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 no!
Let's give it everything we've got. It's punishment time!
No!
Game over. Leon has been found guilty. Time for the punishment. Wait. It still has the music, god damn it! I just hope the video doesn't get taken down before I have the chance to download it so that I can remove the music from it in case it gets flagged. Oh, I don't know if talking over it's going to help. I feel like most of the time they're able to catch the music that's playing in the background even if you're talking over it. But yeah, we can try and do this. So the 1000 blows. Yep, this is Leon's punishment, and it is one of the better punishments in the game. Which is kind of a shame, I guess. Like, the next one's kind of fun too, but it's like more goofy than actually brutal. I like the third punishment, but I feel like it kind of didn't take advantage of the person's actual talent that much. The fourth one is actually kind of heartbreaking. And the fifth one, I'm not going to talk that much about, but the sixth one is definitely a punishment. Well, I hope so at least. But yeah, the ultimate baseball star, killed by way of bowls. He took thousands of balls to the face. What we saw. Oh, I guess I can put the music back on now because, well, it didn't work. I think it was around here. What we saw, that was the true face of despair. I mean, if we can't call it that, what else could we call it?
Extreme!
Woohoo! Extreme! Man, my adrenaline is pumping right out of control! What's going on?
I can't take it
this anymore. Do we really have to keep doing this? I just can't take it.
Well, hey, if you don't like it... All you gotta do is swear to cut all ties with the outside world and accept living here forever. But that's only if every single one of you can get on board with that.
Damn you!
Man, fuck you! Why the fuck are you doing all this evil shit to us?
What the heck?
Evil? You make it sound like I'm some dark, awful secret society type of guy.
Say what?
Or in this case, a dark, awful secret society type of bear? Well, so, why are you putting an upstanding young citizen like me through such a grueling ordeal?
Hey,
It seems like you're trying to use common sense to make sense of something that doesn't make sense. That's like trying to put a mile on a scale. I just don't think it's possible. Hey, I don't think what you're saying and what I'm saying quite fit together.
Oh, I'm sorry, Snake. We're just finishing up the case now. It's gonna be over soon. Yes, an upstanding gentleman. I'm happy you were able to join us, but it's kind of sad that you, missed everything.
Shit.
You piece of shit. I don't know who you are, but I'm gonna pound your ass into the ground.
You must really hate me to get so angry, huh? But if you do that, you're barking way up the wrong tree. What happened because more than one of you decided you wanted to get out, right? No matter how much time passes, you can't cut free of your regrets from the outside world. You're to blame.
Of course we can't cut free of the outside world. Being trapped in this insane place.
You're trapped, are you? Well, I'm sure once you learn all the mysteries of this school, your thinking will change for sure. You'll think, boy, isn't it so wonderful how we all get to live here forever?
What does this mean?
What are you trying to say?
Hey.
I feel like there's some deeper meaning hidden in there. Just like before.
Chills!
Anyway,
Kills!
let's get to the blackened punishment. That's what everyone's waiting for, after all.
Hey.
When you say everyone, who exactly are you referring to?
Sorry, I've said everything I've got to say. I need to save some of the fun for later.
Monokuma said no spoiler, guys. Did you miss what? If you're asking if you missed the punishment, then yes, unfortunately. But hey, once the stream's over, you can flash back to it. And just like that, he was gone. He left us there, overwhelmed by a nightmare turned reality. Even after he was gone, we stood there forever, unable to move. Actually, no, it wasn't that long, I think. Everyone just lost their sense of time. We were all too scared. Scared of being alone. No one even tried to speak. Their faces were stone, their voices dead. But it was in that moment...
Just a second.
Makoto, can I talk to you for a second? She moved in close and whispered into my ear.
Makoto.
Before we head back, there's something I want to talk to you about. It's about Sayaka, isn't it? I'm surprised you figured it out.
Listen.
I told you before the class trial started. You had to figure out the mystery of this case yourself. You wanted me to realize how Sayaka betrayed me by myself, didn't you? The thought never even crossed my mind. I feel like such a fool becoming such an easy target like that.
It's true.
Sayaka meant to double-cross you. That's a fact you can never change. But even till the end, she wasn't sure of her decision. That's why, as she lay dying, she was thinking of you. She was thinking of me? You can't just say something like that. I mean, there's no way you can know that. Only Sayaka would know for sure, and we can't ask her now.
However...
Even if you can't ask her, you can infer it, don't you think? Her final thought was how she could protect you. What?
So...
The fact that she used her last ounce of energy to leave her dying message proves it. If she didn't care what happened to you, she never would have left that message. Well, maybe she just wanted to get back at the person who had killed her.
Certainly.
That's certainly one possibility. But I don't think that's what it was.
Anyway...
She was uncertain. She wasn't sure she could kill someone, or deceive you. Which is why her plan failed. Her hesitation attracted failure.
Right.
It's almost ironic when you think about it. Why are you telling me all this? Because you're the kind of person who can overcome this. Because you can move past the deaths of your friends, Sayaka and Leon, and keep moving forward.
Correct.
Without someone like that, the others would never be able to break free of such a desperate situation. Move past their deaths? I could never do that. No. I'm going to carry them with me for the rest of my life. How could I possibly move past something like that? Leon, Sayaka... I'll carry them with me forever. I'll carry their memories with me wherever I go. So instead of forgetting them... So instead of forgetting them, you're choosing the hard road. Well, I have high expectations for you. As she said that, she revealed the smallest smile.
Hey.
By the way, I have to admit, I'm curious. How did you know I wanted to talk to you about Sayaka? Oh, well... I'm psychic.
What?
Huh? Kidding. I just have a pretty good intuition. Chapter 1, To Survive. The End. Surviving students, 12. To be continued. You received the despair bat. So now we're going to save. Yep. And with this, the stream is over for today. thanks to everyone for joining me. This is the biggest stream we've had thus far. I hope I'll be able to get a similar size in future episodes. Before everyone leaves, I want to make a message. I am planning on doing a kind of project here for October. And it's kind of funny that I think it was Simon that mentioned Junji Ito, because that's kind of involved for the project that I'm doing. Basically, I am going to try and make and start a series where I read some Junji Ito comics. Specifically, I want to tackle the Tomie series to begin with. But instead of just reading the comics, I've decided to try and tackle it in the style of an urban legend. So I'm basically going to be kind of narrating what happens in the comics while panels from the comics are shown, and try and tell the story again like the kind of urban legend that gets passed around students and such. Oh, I can definitely recommend it, Andrew. It is a pretty fun game. But, like I said, that's the project that I want to do. And, I don't know when I'll be able to do it, because I am also crafting, like, avatar pictures for when I'm reading the manga itself. And, that's kind of taking some time, because I want different kinds of reactions to it. And, I'm doing them myself, and I've never really done avatar stills before. And I'm not really an artist either, so they're probably not gonna be like super great, but for the ones that I've done right now, I've only done the sketches for like half of them, but they're pretty good thus far. So, yeah, I can see people seem to be interested in it, so if you are, please check it out once I get finished with the first one, and if people like it, then I'm going to continue with it. So, thanks again to everyone for joining in. It was a lot of fun, and I'm happy that I got so many here, and we got a lot of interactions going around, and I'm also happy that the microphone is better. Oh hey, if you have anything to help me with, Snake, then I'd be more than happy to get some help with it. Don't really know what you'll be able to help me with, but yeah, we can talk about that on the Discord. Thanks again to everyone for joining. Hope you'll join me next time. Hope you'll check out the video once I'm finished with it. And I'll see you all later. Bye!